Nice to meet you.
I met you.
Do you know where Munchies is?
They live here right now, property. Charlotte, your mom, how long were you there?
Yes,
You mean up there?
Can you?
No, next door. Not there. Right next to
We start at 7 o'clock in the morning. I go to
By the way, the picture didn't come out.
What? It did come out.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I have it.
Don't let me get in your way, man. You're the gyrene.
And one day I came up to her and I said, what can Northampton Township do for you? She came up with the idea of, let's have an old-fashioned USO dance. Started out a little smaller, but after we talked and we got together a wonderful committee, and if you look on the second page of your booklet, you will see all of our wonderful committee members. This became a reality, a vision and a dream because of this committee working so hard, and you, ladies and gentlemen, being here tonight has made our vision a reality. So thank you all for coming tonight to show our troops how much we care about them. We have some, you're all very special guests, but we have some people here tonight that I would like to introduce. They will be saying a few words later on, but some of them will be coming up when I call them. Joe Brooks, who is President and COO of the USO of Pennsylvania and Southern New Jersey. Joe, could you just please? Fred Caldwell, who is a party leader for the Honor Guard at the Washington Crossing Veterans National Airport. Fred worked along with Senator Arnold Specter, may so rest in peace, Congressman Mike Fitzpatrick, State Representative Scott Petrie, and working together, they made our Veterans Cemetery at Washington Crossing a reality. Also, we have two other supervisors from Northampton Township. I'm one, Eileen Silver, and Frank Rothamel. And Kimberly Rose. We have here tonight Sheila Jobs, who is director of our Northampton Township Senior Center. We have our wonderful Chief of Police, Barry Pilla. And a lady who was sort of my mentor, getting up into politics, our Bucks County Chair of the Republican Committee, Pat Popper. Tonight we also have Scott Petrie, who is our state representative, and we have we also have one of my favorite people, and no matter where you are, red, blue, white, pink, or yellow, this gentleman is truly a gentleman and has done more for Bucks County than anyone I know. Our U.S. Congressman, Mike Fitzpatrick.
everybody, and thank you to Northampton Township for what you're doing for Liberty USO and indirectly and directly for our troops. I just drove into town past a very beautiful and fitting Robert Dombrowski Memorial Veterans Park, where we gathered last year to mourn the passing and also recognize the service and sacrifice of Dombrowski, who Council Rock graduate, for Sergeant Kenneth Elwell last year. We send our sons and our daughters, when we first say, thank you as well to all the veterans who are here, especially the guys who put on those uniforms you wore so long ago. We send them, and we send our sons and daughters to some very dangerous places, and when we do that, they're all our family. And I know you're here, and Americans like you believe this. They're all our family, and we care deeply and love every one of them, but we can't be with them. And when you can't be with them, thank God you have organizations that you're supporting tonight like the USO who do go there. And as Eileen said, whether it's Fort Dix, at the Philadelphia International Airport is to welcome them home, or over in Europe, and I've seen them in operation in Germany, I've seen the USO in Afghanistan and Iraq. There's a saying, there's an old cliche, that laughter is the best medicine. You are really caring for the hearts and souls and the physical well-being of our soldiers, sailors, airmen, marine, and coasties. I want to thank you for the USO for what you do, but thank you for Northampton Township for supporting them. This is the time that we do celebrate the veterans, their sacrifice. It's not just those who are wearing the uniform, but also, as I spoke with Fran Dombrowski earlier today, and the Elwell family was over at Council Rock North. Sometimes it's the families back home who have the harder job, which is to wait home for the return of a son or a daughter or a spouse, hoping that that dreaded telegram never comes to their door. And the USO is there for them too. So for everything the USO does, thank you. For all that you do for our great nation, thank you as well. Let's enjoy this dinner. Let's have a good time. And just thanks for being here. Thanks, Eileen.
Dakota, will you please come up? And Lori's going to hold. Sir? Please rise, please.
Please everyone rise. Customary for Marines to put their right hand over their heart. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
veterans. We must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. And so the most important thing for us is to honor their sacrifice for us. I mean, we have a great country. But we have freedom of speech, thank a veteran. Freedom of religion, thank a veteran. Freedom to petition your government with regard to grievances, thank a veteran. If we didn't have, our veterans to uphold these freedoms for us, we couldn't, the civilians here at home, couldn't enjoy those. And so the nation will remain the land of the free, only so long as it remains the home of the brave. And we certainly have a lot of home of the brave here in Northampton. So thank you very much, and have a great night.
First of all, if anybody lost keys, first, I would like to thank everyone for coming. It is such a wonderful thing to see so many people to grab onto my passion of Liberty USO. I would also like to thank our sponsors, as well as those who have donated raffles and silent auctions. Lastly, I would like all the committee members to please stand. Without their help, this night would not have happened. But without the help of one particular person, I probably would have lost my mind, and this definitely would not have happened, and that is Betty Satterley. So, I have a small little story to tell you. That 7 years ago, my husband comes home from work and says, "Hey, you want to get involved with the USO?" I looked at him and said, "Are you crazy? I'm not getting on the stage and start singing. Did that years ago. I'm not doing it again." He said, No, they do so much more. So I said, okay, well, that sounds good. But so he started doing the missions first at Fort Dix because they were 3 o'clock in the morning missions every single Sunday. I couldn't do it. I had kids that I just did not want to leave at night by themselves. So he first started doing the volunteering. I joined him about 6 months later and got hooked immediately. I have to say, out of all of the things that I've ever volunteered for, Liberty USO, or the USO, has been the best. You see, you really get to do things for the most humble human beings that you could ever meet, and that is our military as well as their families. So thank you, Joe, and thank you, MJ, for giving us this opportunity to do this.
Because our military never stops working. And we couldn't deliver our mission to our men and women in uniform without our staff and volunteers. We have responsibility, the USO, Pennsylvania and Southern New Jersey, for the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and all of Southern New Jersey. So Lake Erie to the Atlantic Ocean, from Fort Indian Town Gap up in Annville, PA, all the way down to the United States Coast Guard Station in Cape May is where we operate. And there's only 6 staff people. So how do you do that? It's nearly impossible. The only way you do it is with volunteers like Lori. And our volunteers are a special group of people. In 2012, if my math is correct, our volunteers will have donated 40,000 hours this year alone to delivering on our mission. So if you would, can I have my staff and my volunteers please stand up so they can get a round of applause. expression that I gave out last year at our Volunteer Appreciation Day, and it goes something along the lines of, you don't pay volunteers because they're worthless. You don't pay volunteers because they're priceless. And that's the absolute truth. You know, our United States military never sleeps. They're always at work. Okay? Whether that is a Louisiana Army Guard unit flying out of McGuire Air Force Base on their way downrange, Lori, Doc Kerner, MJ, and all the volunteers at MDL are there to see them off as they go off to war. Could be Thanksgiving morning. An Air Force reservists come home from a year away from their family, and our staff and volunteers are there to welcome them home. And one of the things that's really unique about our volunteer service at Joint Base McGuire, Dixon, Lakehurst, and I think it's special, is when our warriors come home, they're there and they're welcomed home as heroes, and they should be. And one of the things that makes our volunteer crew at MDL, I think, special is the number of Vietnam-era veterans that volunteer there at MDL. Because they want to be sure that this group of warriors comes home and are treated like the heroes that they are. And unfortunately, our Vietnam veterans weren't accorded the same level of appreciation. And I think that's really special. And I get to witness what looks to be moments of healing when I see a Vietnam veteran hugging a current warrior. There's something that's happening there. It's really special. And it's one of those things that when I come home and tell my wife and tell my children what work is like, you can't describe those moments. You know, I had a chance to talk to a couple of folks before we came in here today, and there was a familiar refrain. I didn't know the USO did that. You know, for many folks, the USO is those great black and white images of Bob Hope, and USO dances. And they're wonderful images to hold on to. But the USO is a vital and alive organization today. When the clock strikes midnight on 2012 this year, your USO, Liberty USO, will have touched the lives of 150,000 members of our United States military and their family members. And this happens each and every day. It happens at Philadelphia International Airport, our center, which is open 365 days a year. It happens at Joint Base McGuire, Dixon, Lakehurst, 365 days a year. It happens at outreach events all over the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and all over southern New Jersey. We have one really solemn component to our mission, and I'm not sure everybody in the room knows and understands what happens. When somebody dies in combat, and that member of our military pays that last full measure of devotion to their nation, their remains are flown home to Dover Air Force Base at the mortuary affairs operation there. You know, that knock on the door that a family member gets, and they're told their world has changed, is incomprehensible. Within 24 hours, they're on their way to Dover Air Force Base. And unless that member of the military lives within driving distance of Dover, those folks fly to Philadelphia International Airport. In 2012, out of a 365-day calendar year, there were families that have fallen in Philadelphia International Airport 222 of those days. It's a stark number. Your USO, the USO of Pennsylvania and Southern New Jersey, personally escorted nearly 5,000 folks to and from Dover Air Force Base at all hours of the day. So when we turn on the news at night, sometimes I get frustrated when there's a story about a Kardashian or the latest scandal. And I know for a fact that there's 12 grieving family members in Philadelphia International Airport waiting to make their way down to Dover, and their stories aren't told. Folks, the war may be occurring in Afghanistan, but it touches the Delaware Valley nearly every day of the week. This war is not over. Our warriors are still fighting. Our warriors are still sacrificing. You here tonight shows you appreciate that. You here tonight shows you understand because the USO is not the federal government. We're you. We're volunteers. We're a 501c3. We're a nonprofit. We could not do our mission without events like this, without nights like this. I'm humbled to serve our military. It's the most important 3 years of my life, and I'm honored to be here. And I'm also honored that folks like Lori and Eileen are here, and they get it, and they understand it. And if you could come up real quick, Lori and Eileen, if you come join me here, just for a quick second. Many folks in the United States military understand the importance of challenge coins. Their birth is lost in antiquity. Members of the military second tables can probably do a better job of telling their story. But what they've grown to become is a symbol of appreciation for a job well done. Something for our military to let somebody know that they appreciate that. In 1942, the USO minted their own challenge coins. And I'd like to present the two co-chairs tonight with their coins. So, thank you.
Okay, number two, that really blew my mind.
Traditionally, and regardless of their location throughout the world, Marines pause to observe our birthday by sharing a cake, and usually a holiday meal. The sword is used to cut the cake as a reminder that we are a band of warriors, committed to carrying the sword so that our nation may live in peace. For tonight's ceremony, the cake is cut by the senior officer, and that would be former Captain Harry Neiman. And the first piece would be presented to the oldest Marine in attendance, signifying the honor and respect accorded to experience and seniority. The oldest Marine this evening is Henry Peace, who is... And symbolically, the oldest Marine presents and passes the piece of cake to the youngest Marine present. Just as for years, our experienced Marines have nurtured and led young Marines that will fill our ranks and renew our corps. The youngest Marine present this evening, believe it or not, is Mike Clark, who was born August 57.
How much, Henry? 2 cuts. I cut it and I'm going to give it to you, buddy. Now, you get the piece, then you get the money. Okay? There we go. Cake go, buddy. Eat the cake, Mike. Come on, Mike. Mike, eat the cake. This one's yours. Thank you.